try this year because they didn't like people being able to see. Like, you could walk into, say, like a hotel lobby or a hotel bar, and you would see people talking, and you knew something was going on because they were sitting, not only because they were sitting next to each other, but they would see you there and they'd be like, oh God. So they didn't like that. There will definitely be something missed to all that. You can always do business better face to face. For example, I remember going into a hotel bar once, and at our hotel, just, to have one late night, and I saw a GM and an agent, and they rolled their eyes when they saw me, probably just because it was me, never mind that they were doing business. Yeah. It's tough because I think there are some, I don't think you should ever have a problem with saying, okay, I saw this person talking, but you're in a bar area. People have to be careful in this day and age. I always have questions about it, but I remember the next day when I heard about an extension getting signed, I remember thinking, because I said, I did say the next day, I've got to ask, what were you guys talking about? And they weren't giving it up. And then when I saw an extension being signed between a certain player and team, I was like, I texted them both the extension. And I was like, okay, now I know. And they both kind of laughed. So I do think that happens. I think that's very real.
And that's honestly, having been to a couple of them, the coolest part if you're a hockey fan, if you go to the draft. Like, it's kind of Disney World, but for the NHL, because of how many people that work in that space are all in the same city, are all kind of staying within a however big radius to the arena where the draft is occurring. It's a really neat fan experience with that too, that of course you won't see this year, but hopefully again next year.
Hopefully it'll be back.
One final one.
Hopefully it'll be back.
I agree. One final one. It's a voicemail from Alex in Atlanta.
Hey, this is Alex calling from Atlanta. I have a question for Kyle and anyone else who might be there. Don't really know. But I need you guys to either get me hyped up or break my heart and tell me what does it look like in terms of this Atlanta NHL project. My hopes are actually very high. I'm a former Thrasher season ticket holder, but I need to hear from someone I trust. So for Kyle or anyone else, please tell me how I should feel and whether or not I should get my hopes up. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
That's pretty funny. Well, Kyle, since there's nobody else here, do you want to answer the question?
Yeah, no, I think he can trust your word over mine in this case.
Like, Alex, I think it's real. I do. I think I think the NHL is interested. Obviously they went over a big hurdle a couple weeks ago getting the project approved. I think that I really do think that sometime over the next few months we're going to get a better idea of what we're dealing with here. But I think it's real. Like, one of the things in the CBA negotiation is some of the players who are a bit more involved, they've told me, and that the impression has definitely been made to them that expansion is likely, if not possible. So we'll see where it goes, and I don't want to get your hopes up, but I think over the next few months we're going to have a much better idea of what really is on the table.
Right, because, Vernon Krause, who's, of course, the head of Krause Sports and Entertainment, and that's the group that got their plans approved for that $3 billion development, he said not too long ago that, like, one of the next big steps after getting that out of the way is going to New York and presenting what he called a completed package to Gary Bettman and the NHL of what that all would look like, and he thought likely to do it not long after the Stanley Cup was awarded. So the idea of having something more tangible in the next few months, as you say, Elliot, it all seems to be tracking that way.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So, Alex, thank you for the question, and way to hang in there as a one-time Thrashers season ticket holder, and maybe not have to hang on for too much longer. Okay, that'll do it for the latest edition of the Thought Line. Thank you to all who wrote in, who called in, 1-833-311-3232, or sent an email to 32thoughts@sportsnet.ca. One final break in our interview with Matthew Schaefer on the other side. You're listening to 32 Thoughts. All right, welcome back. As promised, a conversation with Matthew Schaefer, who could potentially go first overall in this year's draft Friday night in Los Angeles to the New York Islanders. He was recently the recipient of the CHL Top Prospect Award, has just been a winner as he's grown up. Gold at the Canada Winter Games, gold at the U17, gold at the U18, gold at the Hlinka Gretzky, captain on 3 of those teams. He is a leader. He's dealt with incredible tragedy already at such a young stage of his life, but the way he has handled it, he is somebody that is impossible not to root for. Our conversation with Matthew Schaefer here on 32 Thoughts. So pleased to be joined by Matthew Schaefer, the Erie Otters, one of the top prospects of the 2025 NHL draft. So Matthew, first off, days away from draft day in Los Angeles. Where's your mind at? How's your energy level? It's been a busy month here in June. How are you handling all of it so far?
Yeah, exciting times. This week's going to go by pretty fast. But obviously, once I get to the draft, I'll worry about it now. But really, I'm just working out, getting my body ready. But looking forward to it. It should be some fun times. I haven't been to LA before, so looking forward to that.
I'm just curious, of all the things that you've kind of been through the last few weeks, if someone was to say to you, what was the craziest thing that happened to you, the one thing that stands out, what would you say it was?
Ooh, it's just in the last couple weeks, or from my start of the season to the end of the season.
You pick. This is your interview. You pick.
Well, obviously in life I've gone through quite a bit of stuff, and I don't think I would be the person I am today with everything I've been through. I think, going through the draft, the combine, I wouldn't be as calm with it. Mm-hmm. When I lost my mom and I lost my Bill mom in the same year. So that was a really tough thing to go through. You never, want anyone to go through cancer as scary as, what my mom went through. But things like that have made me so much stronger in life, and I'm happy she's not suffering, where now I find myself so much more calm with things, and there's a lot worse things that can happen in life. And everyone gets super, stressed out about the draft and the combine, but it's all fun to me. Going to the combine, being with all your friends, meeting, people from different teams, going through that, kind of process, it's pretty cool to me. And I honestly